I'm sure there is something for everybody. We just have to be willing and open to try and go in with positivity, not, ugh, this is just not fun. Go in like, hey, I'm going to be curious. Maybe I'll like it. I'll see how I feel. If I don't like it, oh well, I'll try something else next week.
Living a healthy, balanced life as a mom can sometimes feel impossible. With tiny mouths to feed, butts to wipe, and so many things vying for our attention, it can be easy to feel like we're in an on-again, off-again relationship with healthy living. But it doesn't have to feel this way. I believe every mom is a super mom, and you deserve to feel like one too, and you don't have to go on another diet to do it. Join me, Kristin Dovbniak, holistic nutritionist and certified intuitive eating counselor, for conversations on what it means to live a healthy, balanced life. I want to help you uncomplicate eating, improve your relationship with food, and live like the supermama I know you are. Hey friends, welcome back to the Healthy Balanced Mama podcast. I have an awesome guest on with me today, my very first repeat guest to the Healthy Balanced Mama podcast, and she is an extra special guest. You're going to have to listen to the end to see why she is so extra special, aside from the fact that we have become good friends and she is just one awesome lady. But Heather Englund is the face and voice behind the website Fit Mama Real Food, the host of the weekly healthy living podcast, Fit Mama Real Food Radio, and the creator of Fit Mama Real Foods Yoga and Strength on YouTube, where she shares quick and effective fitness, yoga, and strength training workouts. She's a Yoga Fit and AFAA certified group fitness instructor and began her teaching career in 2011. She's taught classes varying from strength training, cycle, aqua aerobics, kickboxing, silver sneakers, yoga, sports agility, and boot camps. She finds so much joy making movement fun for people. Seeing the transformation exercise can have both physically and mentally inspires Heather every day to guide women to take the time to focus on themselves in this way. In 2008, Heather started her journey to find out how to truly nourish herself through food and fitness. She took numerous nutrition courses and began learning about exercise. It wasn't a straight shot to where she is now, but eventually she landed in a healthy and happy relationship with real food as the focus and intentional movement that encourages health, energy, and joy. Heather is a wife to Jacob and mom of 4 little kids, Hunter, Zoe, Nova, and Holland. She lives in the beautiful Pacific Northwest. Gratitude, nourishing real foods, movement, and laughter are a must every single day. So friends, I had Heather come on today to share more with you about creating fitness goals into the new year. We had an incredible conversation on everything from what to do if you really don't like working out. How can you make movement a part of your life, even if you feel like maybe it feels like a little bit of a chore or you'll never like working out? She has some awesome tips for the mom who is just starting out and wants to create a fitness routine but might not know where to start. And she also has tips for how to enhance your fitness routine and boost your fitness without adding extra time or becoming crazy obsessive or feeling like all you're doing is working out, but you want to improve your fitness and you want to improve your health in that way. How can we fit fitness in to our busy mama lives, and how can we create fitness goals that are balanced and, like I said, not obsessive, but really help us to enhance our health and our wellness, knowing that movement is such an important part of our lives. So I'm so excited to have her on again, to have you listen to this incredible conversation we had. It really was a conversation between friends, so I really hope that you enjoy the information she shared. It's so invaluable, especially as we are coming so close to the new year and creating these goals for our health and our wellness, and really want to do it in a balanced way. So without further ado, enjoy this interview between me and Heather. Hey friends, I'm so excited to have you on again.
Hey, Kristin, I am so happy to be back. This is so fun.
So you are my first repeat guest here on the Healthy Balanced Mama podcast, which is very exciting.
That is. I feel so special. I love it.
Well, it is for very good reason. I mean, you are awesome, first of all, and you have some incredible wisdom to share with the ladies for sure. But we also want the listeners to wait until the very end. Not to wait, but to listen until the very end, because we have a special announcement that's we're going to have for them as well today. So much fun in today's episode.
Yes, I'm so excited.
So today I wanted to have you on again, because last time I had you on in October, we chatted a lot about just overall balance in fitness in different seasons as a mom. But as we're coming into the new year, it's the end of December, Christmas is in just a couple of days, and it's almost the new year. We're starting to think about creating goals for our life and for our health in the new year. And I wanted to have you on as a fitness expert to talk about creating fitness goals in a really balanced, sustainable way. Because I really think that creating fitness goals can seem so kind of nebulous and confusing for moms if you're not following like a very strict plan, which we know can be good for certain seasons, but isn't always sustainable. And I think a lot of times we tend to just overcomplicate it or go in too hard, too fast, and create this routine where we're like, I'm going to work out twice a day for, every single day for the next 2 months. And it's just not sustainable. And then we quit. So I kind of wanted to start just by asking you, how can we simplify creating fitness goals, especially as we come into the new year?
Yes, I love this question so much. And I love this time of year because people are thinking about making healthier choices. And that is so wonderful. So my first tip would be to really think about your why behind your goal before you even think about what that's going to be, because having a why that you can really tie your goal to, maybe it's being able to run around with your kids, or being able to run a half marathon, or take a class that you've been watching, kind of peering outside the windows. Whatever your why is really going to help you to stay on track with that goal. And so once you've figured out what your why is going to be, really thinking about the exercise and the movement that you like to do. Because again, that's going to really help you to stay on track and not, start with too much, too hard, and then it kind of fizzles out. I was a group fitness instructor. I love the energy of the new year. There's so many new people coming into classes, and that is so fun. And I love to see those people continuing on. But oftentimes we do make things too big and too complicated. We think, I'm going to work out for an hour every day of the week. And that's maybe not something that can be sustainable. So starting small is a great way to have something that you can continue on. So working out for 15 minutes a day, you're still moving your body and you're still going to get great benefits from that. So starting small and then growing that if you feel that you're looking for more push in your workout routine, but definitely starting with something that you can maintain, because once you get going, once you notice how it makes you feel to work out, you're so much more likely to continue on with that.
I love that you mentioned that even just 15 minutes a day is a great place for someone to start, because I think a lot of the time we think that we do have to start at this like top level, start with the hour-long, fitness class, which can be great, especially when you're just starting out a new routine and you want to connect with other people. I know for some people, I love the energy of fitness classes too, because you can go and be around other people who are also excited to move their body and improve their health. But if you are just starting out, 15 minutes is okay, and you can still do a whole lot to improve your health and to improve your fitness in just 15 minutes a day, and then move up from there. So I love that you shared that. So if a mom has never ever created fitness goals before, so she's got this idea in her head where she's like, okay, I've got to do like an hour-long workout 3 times a week, but you're like, no, it's okay. You can start out with even just 15 minutes, and she's like, listening and going, oh my gosh, thank you so much. I can start with 15 minutes. Where should she start with those 15 minutes? And you said before, do something that you love. What if she has no idea what she loves, and she knows that she can just start with 15 minutes. Where should she even start?
Oh my gosh, that would be such a fun place to be if you like don't know what you like. It's the world is whatever you want it to be in that instance. So where can you start? Walking is an amazing way to move your body. Strength training is also a very important aspect of a fitness routine. So starting with 15 minutes of strength training, different classes if you belong to a gym, although it is kind of tricky if you're wanting to start small, classes are typically longer. But give yourself permission to maybe try 15 minutes and then be okay leaving if you're wanting to try out a class. So trying a variety, try yoga, try Pilates, try riding a bike, try going on hikes, try swimming. There's so many different ways to move your body. So that would be step number one. If she doesn't know where to start, just make a list of all of the different movements or exercise types that interest you and start to try those out. And you will find some you enjoy a lot. Some maybe don't feel right in that moment. Some give you a lot of energy and some kind of wear you down. So really, it's finding the things that you enjoy that you can hopefully be left with more energy. We want to be left with more energy at the end of our workouts as well.
I think that's a really good point that you made, that we do want to be left with more energy after we finish our workout, because I think that there is this notion that we need to be so exhausted from every single workout that we can barely move. And some workouts are going to feel like that. Some workouts we're going to be like, oh man, that was really intense, I can barely move. But it shouldn't last for the rest of the day. Like if every single day you're exhausting yourself, well, that's not really improving your health or helping your life as a mom. If you can't live out your days, then that's why we start small, right? And then we kind of move up and we start improving our fitness and we can go a little bit harder as we go, right?
Yeah, and exactly. And I love that you say that, we start small and then we can add on. And it's really great to be able to give yourself that space that you can show improvement to yourself, that you can show that you are getting stronger. Because when you start at, say, take weightlifting, for example, and you're lifting 5-pound dumbbells and you're finding that that's challenging, it's really great to be able to get strong at that and then see if you want to push yourself a little more. Maybe you try 7-pound weights or 8-pound weights after that. And that's going to help your body to react and your muscles to grow. And if you're looking for body composition change or just strength, your body is going to have to adapt to that new stimulus, and it's going to help you to make changes more. So we don't have to feel like we need to, lift the heaviest weights right off the bat. It's awesome to have a baseline and then be able to progress if that's what we're looking for.
Okay, so kind of piggybacking on that, you've mentioned a couple of different forms of exercise. You talked a little bit about exercises that are more cardio-based, that, kind of those exercises that are going to get our heart rate up and are going to make us sweat. And then you also mentioned strength training. So what does like a balanced fitness routine even look like? So how many times a week should a mom work out if she's just starting out or wanting to progress? What kind of exercises? Could you just kind of walk us through that a little bit?
Yes, I would love to. So when I talk about a balanced fitness routine, there's a few different types of trainings that we want to think about. We want to think about strength training, and that's going to help our muscles to get stronger. It also helps with our bone density, which is really great. We want to think about our cardiovascular health, cardio, getting our heart rate up, maybe getting the blood flowing a little more. Bigger movements help with that. But we also want to think about our flexibility and our joints, and mindfulness also is part of that, because that's going to help to bring some calm. So when I think of balance, I think, how can I get a variety of different modalities in? If you're adding cardio in and your energy is going up, can you bring a little mindfulness in as well and maybe slow those things down? And it's really important to get a good balance of all of those. And even the CDC recommendations, they mention all of those too, because they're important for adults' overall health. And so how much do we need? More movement is better until a certain point. So it is good to move our bodies throughout the day, moving in multiple different ways. But if we're thinking about how much time, the recommendation is 150 to 300 minutes of moderate exercise a week. And so if we're at that upper level at 300 minutes, my quick math would be 1 hour, 5 days a week, I believe. So if you're kind of over that, seeing how it makes you feel, we don't want to exert too much energy again where we're left with none. But the lower recommendation, 150 minutes, 30 minutes, 5 days a week, something doable. That's at a moderate intensity. If we up our intensity to something more like high intensity interval training, or we're just really pushing ourselves more, we don't need to do that same amount. We can work out for 15 minutes a day or maybe up to 30 minutes 5 days a week. So as our intensity increases, the great thing is that your duration can decrease, and that's really, really helpful if we feel like we're short on time and we just don't have time to work out, but we want to push our bodies or find some challenge. The great thing is that we can be effective in less time, which is something that I absolutely love about exercise. I love sharing those type of workouts as well.
I think that's such a sigh of relief for a lot of moms who are like, oh my gosh, the recommendation is 300 minutes a week. And as anyone, time is precious. We can't get time back. But especially for moms who are already busy, they're like, how am I going to squeeze in an hour 5 days a week? But you don't have to if you are doing some workouts that are higher intensity. But it's also okay to do lower intensity workouts and go for a long walk, and that's still good for your health. So I think finding that balance is so huge and so great.
Yes, and also with the time, you don't have to do it all at one time. You can do it spread out throughout the day. So maybe you have 20 minutes in the morning and 20 minutes at lunchtime. Getting that in there is amazing. It doesn't have to be all at once. So everything adds up and it's a cumulative effect, which is, again, another sigh of relief, because who has time most of the time as a mom for just an hour?
I mean, it would be great if I had an hour to myself every single day of the week. I probably wouldn't choose to work out. I mean, I love to work out. I am someone who loves being active. I love going on long walks. I love going on runs. I love taking fitness classes. But if I had an hour to myself every single day, it probably wouldn't be exercise.
Yeah,
I will still squeeze in exercise, but I mean, there's other things we should do for self-care.
Totally, yes. If we can get a great workout in 30 minutes instead of 60, and then we have another 30 minutes to paint our nails or whatever, then why not?
Right? Totally. So I have a question about equipment. So we talked about the different types of exercise. It's important to have that cardio. It's important to have that strength, that flexibility. Is there any equipment that a mom needs if she wants to start working out at home? Like, are body weight workouts as effective? Should she have weights or kettlebells or things like that?
Okay, so the answer is no, you don't need anything. You can get a great workout with your body, but if you're wanting to add more variety and intensity, they can be really helpful. So if you are doing, and let's just talk about our balanced workout as strength training twice a week and maybe yoga twice a week and then walking twice a week. It's a very balanced routine. So for that, you can most definitely do body weight workouts for your strength training. There's a couple exercises that benefit more with weights, but if you don't have actual dumbbells or maybe a bicep curl, you can grab cans of soup or something at home that has a little bit of weight to it. And you could even fill a little bag or a purse with your kids' toys or something, a bunch of rocks, and make your own weights if purchasing equipment is something that's just not going to work right now. So there's ways to kind of get around it. But yes, body weight exercises, your own body can really help you to build strength. Think about squats and lunges and push-ups, even using a broomstick and using that for reverse pull-ups. I'd have to show a video to explain that. But there's many ways that we can strengthen our body with just our body. And the same for yoga. All you need is your body. If you have a yoga mat, that can be helpful, but again, it's not necessary. You could lay a towel down if you're finding you're slipping and use your towel kind of as your space so that you're not slipping. And walking, get some shoes. That's all you need, and go outside and walking. So very minimal equipment is needed. However, if you're looking to add that little bit more of intensity, a pair of dumbbells, maybe at a couple of different weights, can be really helpful to just change that stimulus, to change the reaction that the exercise has on your body. And the types, there's a few different weights that we can think about. Dumbbells, kettlebells, barbells are a few that come to mind. I feel like dumbbells are just really versatile, that you can do a lot with them. You could do a lot with a kettlebell, but you normally would have one of that weight, and so you wouldn't get that balance of holding one in each arm. Dumbbells are just my go-to, like very great one to have to add a little bit more resistance. And there's tons of other fun things that you could try, like what are they called? TRX resistance bands, and then other type of bands that are stretchy. I'm like moving the movement and I'm forgetting what they're called. But for basic body weight and dumbbells, you're going to find that you can get a lot in a really effective full body workout in with that.
Totally. And you can get dumbbells at Target. They're not crazy expensive, and I mean, if you want to up that intensity, I think it is something great, even if you just have a yoga mat and some dumbbells. But thank you for sharing that. You don't need a lot of equipment, that even if you just have your own body weight and maybe a broomstick.
Yes.
You can get in a good workout for sure.
Yes.
So something I hadn't mentioned before, but kind of popped into my head that I wanted to make sure that we mention as we're talking about creating these fitness goals and finding a balance in our fitness routine. Can you speak a little bit about the importance of rest and making sure that even though we're trying to create these fitness goals, why it's important to actually leave some time for rest?
Yes, I'm so glad that you brought that up, because rest is so important. As we are building strength through strength training, whether it's with weights or with our own body, what happens at our muscle is that it's creating these micro tears. And that's a good thing, because as your body repairs, it comes back stronger, it can grow bigger. But if you're never giving your body and your muscles that rest, it is not getting that opportunity to repair and come back stronger. So if we just go, 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 and we push, we might find that we are not actually getting stronger, if that's a goal of ours, because we're not giving ourselves that rest that we need. And so if we're thinking about strength training, and maybe we're choosing to do a lower body workout and an upper body workout, we want to make sure that before we get from one lower body workout to the next, there's been at least a day in between. So a place to think about that is that maybe if you tend to do full body workouts for strength training, you'll want to have a day in between. That's a great time to fit in walking or whatever cardio type workout you like, or yoga, before you come back to strength training, so that your muscles can come back stronger and be able to work at an intensity that you're looking for.
Yes, thank you for explaining that, because I think we do tend to think that we just need to go, as hard as we possibly can, but the rest is where we actually build our strength. So I think that's really important. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
So for the mom who is like, okay, all of this information is good, this is great, but I want to take my fitness to the next level. I've already got a workout routine and it's feeling pretty good. Maybe they got some great information about how to balance their workout routine, but they want to take it to the next level, but they want to do it in a balanced way. They don't want it to be something where now they have to work out for an hour a day. How can they up their fitness routine and take it to the next level, even in their busy mama life?
Yeah, I think it's really, really fun to have goals. And if pushing yourself in a fitness goal is something you're looking for, that's awesome. Like, get excited about that and go for it. Knowing what your goal is, what you're wanting to get out of it, is really important. I think if it's kind of just a general, like, I just want to get more fit, then that might be something that's harder to really define when you're creating your workout schedule. So getting really set on that. I want to run faster. I want to be able to run at this speed for a mile, or I want to be able to lift this much weight this many times. Or I think a lot about yoga because I teach a lot of yoga. I want to be able to hold this arm balance pose. That looks really cool. So having a specific goal that you're going towards can really help, that you can set set these little micro goals to get yourself there instead of just doing more and more and more. And so when you have your goal set out, okay, how can we work to get to that goal without it taking up all of our time? Because we want to work smarter and maybe not just harder and more and more and more. So if, for example, we'll go through those different examples. If you want to be able to run faster, that doesn't mean that you just have to do more running. Then you might change the way that you're running. You can add intervals in. That's going to help your speed to increase. You can add hills because you're going to be gaining more strength in your legs, which then means that when you're on a flat surface, it's not going to feel as hard and you could run a little faster. So you can still be outside running for the same amount of time, but you're just changing that intensity. And again, being a little more intense with your exercise means that maybe you don't have to work out as long. So that's one example for running. Another is wanting to lift a heavier weight. Well, first, making sure that if you're at home that you have that weight that you want to lift. And a great way to build strength, but maybe not adding just more and more reps, is to change your tempo of your exercises. So say, for example, you're doing squats and you choose to add a weight that you're holding on to. Instead of just going down and up and down and up, you can change it. You can go slow down and an explosive up, or you can go down fast and then up slow. And so adding different tempos in can help to build more strength in your muscles. And it also just changes the way that your muscle fibers work. And so you're going to get a different effect. You can still work out the same amount of time, but just get more out of it that way. And then getting back to a yoga pose, this is a fun one. Really focusing on practicing that. And say, if you're familiar with crow, it's an arm balance pose where you're balancing on your arms, your elbows are up on your tricep area. So that right there, it's a really challenging one. If that's a goal of yours, watch videos. What are some different ways that I can get my body prepared for this? What kind of strength do I need to gain to be able to do this? Okay, I really need to work on, my arm strength, my core strength, my balance. Okay, I'm going to set goals to do these kind of workouts throughout the week. And that can help you to reach that goal. So really being intentional with the type of exercise that you're adding in or changing to really help you to meet your goals.
I love those tips because it really doesn't necessarily mean that we just have to add more. We can just change it up. And It's so funny. You're talking about crow and crow pose. I love yoga. I've been doing yoga for more than a decade. It's probably the longest standing workout that I've done. I love how it makes me feel both physically and mentally. So my husband started getting into yoga like maybe 7 or 8 years ago when we lived in Toronto. And we went to this yoga studio and we had this incredible instructor. He was an ex-Marine and he was super strong and he loved teaching all these balance poses. And so he goes and starts showing us how to do crow pose one day. And my husband just pops into crow pose. Like no big deal. And I'm like, I've been working on this for years and I can like barely get into it for like a few seconds.
Yeah.
And he just pops right into it. But that is one that I have learned I cannot always get into it. It depends on like kind of what level of strength I'm at the moment, what I've been training, because sometimes I'm training for running and then I'm not doing as much strength and then I can't get into it. But it really is. It's about consistency and changing up the ways that I do it and, focusing on different, areas of strength where I for me, for the most part, when I can't do it, it's because I realize that I haven't really been working on my core a lot. And especially for us moms who have had babies, our core strength sometimes tends to be a little bit weaker. And it doesn't mean that we need a six-pack by any means, but it is important to be able to pick our kids up and be active in our daily life to have our core strong. So that's almost a good reminder, too, when I'm like, oh, I can't get into crow, maybe I should work on my core a little bit. And it kind of helps me in other areas, too. But it just reminded me of that kind of a random anecdote, but
oh, that's too funny. And some people just naturally just can pop up into it, and some it takes a while. Like I've seen people, it's taken years for them to get to it, but they're consistent and then they get it, and that is so fun to see and really awesome. Like sticking with a goal for that long, even when maybe you don't meet it right away.
Yeah, totally. And I think that speaks to the effect of small change and consistency. And I
Mm-hmm.
think that's so huge when we're talking about goals of any sort. When we're talking about health goals, nutrition goals, and especially fitness goals. It really is about consistency and sticking with it, because we're going to have these bodies forever. And whether we
Mm-hmm.
have specific goals where we want to get into crow pose, or we want to run faster, or it's just I want to live a long, healthy life, it's about that long game. It's about creating those small changes that add up so that we can do these things for a long time, rather than going into it so hard that we injure ourselves or we get burnt out. I think this is, this is what you've been talking about the whole time, but it really
Mm-hmm.
is about those small changes that lead to that consistency. So,
Oh,
that's
yes. And
great.
one of my goals for like lifelong is to be able to move without pain. Like I just want to forever
Yeah.
be able to move. And so the things that I do really reflect that, because I know flexibility is super important. So I make sure that that is a part of my routine always, because I want to feel good when I move all the time.
Yeah, definitely. I think my dad's a really good inspiration for me in this, because my dad does not listen to my podcast, or at least I don't think he does. But he'll be 60 next year, or not next year, the year after. So he's almost 60, and he's still really strong. And he's a runner, and he will just like wake up one morning and go and run 10 miles. And he'll be sore after it because he doesn't consistently run 10 miles. He's not a
Hmm.
marathoner or anything, but he keeps himself fit and active and strong so he can go out and do that. And I'm like, that's what I want to be like when I'm almost
Yeah,
60 or 80. Maybe I won't be running 10 miles when I'm 80. We'll see. Maybe I will be.
right.
But I
Maybe.
want to be like that too. And he can run after my kids and play with them and not get tired out. And it's really inspiring to see. And I think it's important to have those future goals too, other than just like, this year I want to do crow pose. It's like, well, this year I want to do crow pose, but I still want to be running after my grandkids in,
Hmm.
40 years or whatever.
Yes. Oh, I want to be like your dad when I'm almost 60.
Yeah.
Like nothing stopped me. Just go.
Yeah. So I want to switch gears a little bit and ask if you have any suggestions for the mom who is so sure she hates working out. Because I have some moms who come to me and they're like, I'm sorry, but I'm just never going to work out. Because they know that it's good for them, but how do they actually do it? If they're like, I just really don't like working out, what can they do?
Oh, that's so hard, because I think we all do know working out is good for us, moving our bodies. Um, what I would first say is nobody's going to make you work out. Like nobody's going to force you to, even though you know it's good. But if it's a goal that you do want to work out, here are a few tips. Maybe make friends with somebody who likes to work out, or encourage a friend to work out with you. Maybe you have somebody that works out, or maybe you decide to join a gym and start taking a bunch of classes. As a group fitness instructor, community is huge. And when you can go into a room and you see people that you know and they're excited to see you, know their name, you're just creating this really important community. Forming habits is so much easier with community. Now, if you just don't like moving your body and like how you feel working out, that would still be the same, but it can be made better with community. So, in the beginning, we talked about all the different ways to move your body. I would say keep trying different ones. Try every week. Maybe you try a different type of movement, and maybe you find you really like riding horses. That's so random. Or going ice skating. That's a way to move your body. And that's amazing. You don't have to always stick with traditional forms of exercise to get movement in. Now, if you're a competitive type of person, another way to kind of make yourself work out would maybe to create a challenge with a friend or with a spouse, so that you have this other motivator that will get you going. And that can be really fun. I mean, there's online challenges that you could do, but I think it's really fun if you can do it with somebody that you know in person, to really kind of egg each other on and maybe have a prize at the end. Maybe you create a challenge of working out 10 days or 15 days in the month, and the first person that gets to it gets a prize, or whoever did the most in the month, somebody else that maybe is having trouble working out as well. And again, just bringing it back to trying new things. If you find something that you like, but you find you get bored, see if you can mix it up, and then try something the next week. It's a great opportunity to just see what's out there. There are so many different boutique type classes and clubs and little shops out there that I'm sure there is something for everybody. We just have to be willing and open to try and go in with positivity, not, oh, this is just not fun. Go in like, hey, I'm going to be curious. Maybe I'll like it. I'll see how I feel. If I don't like it, oh well, I'll try something else next week.
Yeah, I love that you mentioned thinking outside the box, sort of, and it could be something like ice skating or horseback riding or something that we don't think of as, quote unquote exercise, but what's important is moving and moving our bodies and staying active and going in it with positivity. Sometimes you got to fake it till you make it, right? And just go, I'm going to be positive about this. This is going to be fun, even if I feel crazy. I know when I took my first bar class, I was like, my friend had encouraged me to go and try it out, and she couldn't even come to the first class with me. She's like, you'll love it. And I'm like, I am not a ballerina. There's no way I'm going to like this. Yeah. But I went in going, you know what? I'm just going to have fun. I'm going to look crazy, and I'm going to have fun. And I had a lot of fun, and I really enjoyed it, and it was something different, and I was so sore the next day because it was so different than anything else I had done. So I think that's just one little example of going in it with a positive mindset, and then I came out really happy that I had tried something new, and I've done it a whole bunch since.
Yeah, it's kind of having low expectations going into it and then surprising yourself like, oh yeah, I really did like this. That was fun.
Yeah, I think you can, I think it's the same for even not being in the mood to do a workout, but knowing that you want to move your body. And there is definitely something to be said for the days where we just don't want to work out or we're tired. It is absolutely okay to take an extra rest day and be like, yeah, I don't want to move today. It's okay. But if you're like, okay, it's been a while, I've been in kind of a slump, and I want to work out. I think we talked about this in the last episode too. Just going in and going like, all right, I'm just going to do 5 minutes. And then sometimes we surprise ourselves and we're like, okay, 5 minutes felt good. I think I can do another 5 and maybe even another 5.
Yes, exactly. Just getting started is going to set you up to move your body. If we don't start, we never do it. So I love that.
Yeah, totally. Hey friends, I'm interrupting this episode to share some super exciting news about the Supermama Society. The Supermama Society is launching once again on December 30th, and it has gotten a makeover. I have been reflecting and asking members and listening to what members say, thinking and dreaming, and this is what I'm hearing. You have the information. In fact, you have a lot of information when it comes to healthy living. You might even have too much information, and too much information can be overwhelming, and it isn't serving us to feel overwhelmed, confused, and uncertain where to even begin on our eating journey. You want to feel well and to live well. You like the idea of feeling like a supermom, but you might not be buying it. You want to tune into your body, but you're not even sure where to begin. Because here's the thing, Mama. More than information, what you need is a guide. A sister who's been there. A coach who's willing to weed through the noise, lay it all out for you, and tell you it's gonna be okay. You need someone to lead the way and help you redirect when you get off course. I know this, friend, because I have felt exactly how you do. Paralyzed by information overload without a clue how to apply it to my real life. And that's the last thing I want you to feel. I don't want you to feel overwhelmed or burdened by information. I want to help guide you towards living your food freedom. So here's the deal. It's time to Control Alt Delete. Let's refresh, let's start this year off right, with a direction towards the woman you desire to be. This year in the Supermama Society, I am going to give you a solid foundation to tune into your intuition and simplify nutrition to live your healthiest, happiest life beyond dieting and live like the Supermama I know you are. The Supermama Society is taking on a group coaching format. So this won't change anything that's already in the society. All of that will already be there for you to take, to dig into, and to use in your journey to becoming an intuitive eater. winter. But the first half of the year, January through June, is all about focusing on tuning in to your intuition, giving you the necessary tools to tune into what your body wants and needs before you even consider tweaking your nutrition, which is an essential step to making wellness changes work. If you don't know how to tell what feels good, you'll waver forever. And it'll help you take what you learn in the second half of the year and apply what works to make it a long-term reality. Then, from July to December, we're going to focus on simplifying nutrition with learning simple techniques to uncomplicate eating in a way that nourishes and fuels us based on our intuition and simple nutrition tools. Think of it as wellness without restriction. You will have the opportunity to join us for a full year starting on December 30th, January through December, but there's still the monthly option too. If you want to join us month to month and get the benefits of learning how to tune into your intuition and simplify your nutrition in a safe group coaching format where I am here for you answering your questions through monthly classes, Q&As, office hours, as well as a community of other women who also want to learn how to live healthier, happier lives without ever having to go on another diet again. I'm so excited about these changes. I can't wait to release them for you. So be sure to click the link in the show notes and join us. So we did talk about this a little bit in the last episode, but I just kind of want you to reiterate this. If they haven't listened to your last episode, hopefully they have. But how can we create fitness goals that work around our busy mom schedules? Because I don't even like the word busy, but our lives are full as moms. Let's be real. Most of us have full lives as moms. So how can we make it happen?
Yes. Well, definitely two big things to think about: scheduling it and being effective with your workouts. So if we're wanting to make it happen and we are busy moms, we've got a lot of things going on, where are pockets of time that we could fit a workout in? Do you have 15 minutes somewhere in your day that you could find time to work out? Whether it's waking up a little earlier, doing it after the kids are down, maybe when they're eating lunch at the table, that's when you fit in a workout. They're a little more preoccupied and maybe staying in their seats if they're little enough to be strapped in. And then finding time and scheduling your workout, just thinking one day ahead. When am I going to exercise tomorrow? When do I want this to happen? And then either writing it down or just really making an intentional effort in your mind to say, this is when it's going to happen. No excuses. I'm going to do it. And then if you're short on time, be really effective with your workouts. So in the last episode, we also talked about high intensity interval training. And that just means that you're working at a harder rate for a little bit of time, and then you take a rest, and then you go kind of between those. And when we are working at that higher level, say like a 8 or a 9 on a scale of 1 to 10, so you're working really hard, but you know you have that little rest in, you're actually being more efficient in your workout, and you're going to continue. I don't really like to talk about burning calories after your workout, but it's part of it that you burn more calories after. You're just more effective with your workouts with high intensity interval training, and you can get a lot in 15 minutes.
That's actually my favorite type of exercise to do on like the treadmill. We have a treadmill in my apartment complex. I love doing HIIT workouts just at home too. I'll do HIIT workouts that are like strength and cardio based, but I do love to run, and I run all throughout the spring and summertime outside, but I'm a little bit of a wimp. And I am a fair weather runner. I like to enjoy my run, so I do not run when it gets cold. But I love going on the treadmill and just doing like a 20-minute interval workout where I'm running really fast and then I'm slowing down, and it goes by so fast. But then I keep up that maybe it's not endurance, but I keep up that strength enough so that when I go do my first outside run when it's warm enough for me in the springtime, I don't feel like I'm dying. I've still kept that up, even though I've only been working out for like 20 minutes a couple times a week. I still feel good come springtime. And it's pretty crazy because even now I'm still surprised that I'm like, oh wow, I felt great on that run outside, even though maybe I went on a 30-minute run outside. But those 20-minute runs really just kept me fit throughout the year and helped me feel really good.
Yeah, they do. And adding high intensity interval training like you've been doing on the treadmill really helps your muscles to be used to moving a little faster and kind of working harder. So then your kind of more normal runs might not seem as hard because you've pushed in other areas to build that strength.
Yeah, definitely. And you can do that with any type of workout too.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's a lot of different types of interval training workouts you can do. It doesn't have to be on the treadmill. There's a lot of high intensity interval, like I said. You can just do body weight, or you can do something with weights too, cardio and strength, or kind of just cardio like I do in the treadmill. So yeah, it's awesome. I think it's great.
Yes.
So my last big question for you. You know that I'm really big on making progress outside of numbers, because as moms make changes to their health and make changes to their fitness, they might see changes in their body. They might see changes in their gene size, but that's not the best indicator of real change. So how are some ways that we can kind of judge our fitness progress outside of just weight on the scale or the size of our genes? Maybe that's changing, maybe that makes us feel good, but long term, how can we really indicate some good changes to our fitness?
Yeah. Well, there's a few different things that come right to my mind. Is one, just being stronger, being able to move heavy things, carry all the groceries in one trip and not have to go back out to the car. That's like huge for me. So just being able to be stronger so that you can do life easier, that you can help move a couch or push a bed or something up the stairs. Having that strength, you're going to find if you're working on strength training, you're going to become stronger for life things. Also, being able to run a little faster. If you're playing in the backyard with your kids, maybe you can really chase after that soccer ball and like change directions. You have better agility. That's going to also help you to fall less, which is something that right now you and I, we're still nice and young, but as we become 60, we don't want to fall. So being able to move faster side to side, that's going to help us as well. Having more energy, just the joy that exercise can bring, those happy endorphins, is going to really be some progress that we see. So maybe finding that we wake up and we feel more energetic, we feel lighter, we maybe aren't as tired in the afternoon as we have been. We're sleeping better because exercise can help with that. So there's a lot of different ways that we can see progress that maybe we're not seeing on the scale or in our clothes, but we're just feeling better in our bodies. And that right there is huge. Just knowing that we're putting some time in, taking care of ourselves, moving, and then having energy, feeling light, feeling strong. Those are great ways to see progress.
So good. I think everything you said right there was just awesome. And the reason why I think that it's important for all of us to recognize the importance of moving our bodies and having a fitness routine that feels good. And I think a lot in the intuitive eating world that I'm in, sometimes we downplay the importance of some of the really important facets of wellness because we get nervous that we're going to get obsessive about it. And it really can be done in a balanced way. Like we've been talking about, we do not need to be working out for hours a day to see those really positive changes to our health. But it is important that we have fitness as a part of our routine because we do want to be strong and active for our whole lives, for our kids, and for ourselves, of course, too. So I think it's so important. So thank you for sharing all of those incredible benefits.
Yeah.
So are you ready to share our announcement that we promised them at the beginning?
Can I share, Kristin? Are you ready?
Yeah, I would love for you to share.
Okay. So I am super excited because I am joining the Super Mama Society as the fitness expert.
Yay! I'm so excited to have you.
Yes, I'm so excited too. So what that will look like is that I'm going to be sharing workouts with you guys. I'm going to be sharing articles and just really be your fitness expert resource, because what you've been creating in the Supermama Society, I love. And you share so much amazing knowledge around intuitive eating and just healthy living. But fitness is also part of that. And so I'm really excited to help bring that balance and just help everybody see how they can fit that into their life and it not be overwhelming, something doable, something balanced that they can really fit in.
Yes, I'm so excited to have you on. I think I told you that after we started connecting, I think it was this summer, and you were going to come on the podcast, and then I joined your challenge in July, and I loved it. I loved your videos. I love your positivity, and the wheels started turning in my head, and I was like, I feel like this is something that I'm passionate about, and it's something that I had done in the past, but it's not my passion and not my forte. And I wanted to have someone come on who it is their passion, it is their forte, and you are also a mom of 4, and you know what it's like to try and create this real active life, this realistic, balanced fitness routine, and make it a part of your life. And you have this experience encouraging moms in it. And so I wanted someone to come on who gets it and who has the experience and who is also just a really great, positive, balanced example of what living a fit life is, and to share those workouts with us. So I think it really is just going to round out all of the information that the Supermama Society already has by adding the fitness aspect. So the Supermama Society launches on December 30th. So it launches a week from the airing of this podcast.
Yay!
And it is going to be included in your membership as a Supermama Society member. You are going to get access to monthly workouts from Heather, which I am selfishly just really excited about myself. If no one joins Heather, I'm going to be so excited to do your workout each and every month. I'm just kidding. We already have an incredible community of women, and I'm so excited for it to grow come the new year, and to really add this awesome fitness aspect to it, because it is a really important part of our wellness. And I want to make sure that moms know that it is an important part of our wellness routine, but that it doesn't have to be something where we go crazy over it. It can be something that we can kind of fit into our lives.
Yeah, and it's such a great time for it to be added into the society, as it is going to be the part of the new year. And exercise and working out is top of mind for a lot of mamas and ladies out there. So I'm really excited just to show all the ladies in the community that it's something that they can do, and it doesn't have to take up all their time, doesn't have to stress them out. It can add energy and be done in a short amount of time. So the workouts will be under 30 minutes, and I like to call them my signature fast and effective style. So you'll get a great workout in a short amount of time.
Exactly what I love. So
yes.
so excited for them. So thank you so much for sharing the announcement and for sharing everything that you've shared with us today. I think it gave the women such an incredible balanced view of what it looks like to create fitness goals without needing to feel like they have to work out 7 days a week for an hour a day, that we really can fit it in to our lives. And because you've already been on the show and you've already answered my 3 questions at the end, I figured we would end with just a couple really fun questions. So will you answer a couple of my fun little rapid fire questions before we hop off?
I would love to.
So I've got 2 new fun ones for you. So the first one, we've been talking about fitness, but let's talk about food for a second. What was the best thing you ate last week?
So the best thing I ate last week, we were at some friend's house and we had salad rolls, make your own salad rolls. Ooh. And it is my favorite food. Do you know what a salad roll is?
Yeah, like Thai salad rolls.
Yes. Yeah. And then peanut sauce. I am obsessed with peanut sauce.
So good.
When she had the fixings laid out, I was like, is it my birthday? I love this so much. And that was the best thing that I ate last week.
So good. Those are one of my favorite things to order. We have a Thai restaurant like right around the corner, and now I'm craving it. And I have stew in the slow cooker, but now I want Thai food.
Save it for tomorrow.
Yeah, right? Well, that is awesome. So my second question is, what was your favorite workout last week? What was the best way you moved last week?
Yeah, so the best way that I moved, I would say didn't necessarily have to do with the workout, but it was with the community. So I covered a class, a body pump class for a gal. So it was a full body strength training workout. We used barbells. But the community that I was in, it was a class that I used to teach all the time. And it was just so good seeing all these people that I hadn't seen before. And the energy was there. And it was like you went to a workout, but the time flew by. And all of a sudden you were done and you're happy and you're all sweaty. And it was just an amazing time and workout and time with people that I hadn't seen in a while.
Oh, I love that. There really is such a benefit to a community when it comes to making any sort of changes in your health. Yeah. And I think that's why I'm so passionate about creating a community with the Supermama Society too, is because I want the women to feel like even if they have nothing in their area, even if they're not a part of a gym, though it is really fun to have a community like that, that they can have a place where they can be with other women too who are also trying to make changes. Because I know that, like I mentioned before, I do love a good group fitness class because there is that like energy in the room. So maybe one day I'll be able to come and take one of your classes. I know you're totally across the country, but
it'd be a dream.
Yes, totally. Well, Heather, thank you so much again for coming on. This was awesome. Great information. I am so excited to release this. I think everyone is going to benefit so much from listening to this. Just before we go, can you just, for those of the listeners who haven't followed you before and don't know where to find you, can you just share where they can find you?
Yeah, my hub on the internet is www.fitmamarealfood.com. And I love being over on Instagram. You guys can find me at fitmamarealfood.
Awesome. Thank you again, Heather. And we will put all of the information for the Supermama Society in the show notes so you can join us over there. Thank you, friends, so much for listening to this episode of the Healthy Balanced Mama podcast. I truly hope it encouraged and inspired you today to live a healthier life without restriction. If you enjoyed this podcast, would you do me a huge favor and give it a star rating and review in iTunes? Every rating, review, and subscribe helps this podcast be seen and heard by more women who need to hear it. You can find me, Kristin, on Instagram and Facebook at Healthy Mama Kris or on my website, healthymamakris.com. As a reminder, the information and opinions on this podcast are intended for information and inspiration only and are not a substitute for professional medical advice or treatment. Please consult with your healthcare practitioner before making any changes. See you in the next episode.